All right, well, I welcome everybody to Compass Games Live. This is episode number 25, and it's a real pleasure to be here again. It's been since late March, since our last broadcast, so it's been quite some time. And it's really due to just a big uptick in project work that's come up, which is really good news. Things are really busy, and especially working on specific game projects. So unfortunately, it was just in a situation where preparing a broadcast was just a little much at the time. So it's wonderful after this 2-month mini break to be able to bring you sort of a massive update on where things stand with Compass. So we'll go through the schedule today. We'll talk about, and I'll try to keep tonight's broadcast actually short. We're not going to do any interviews for this broadcast. I'll be scheduling them out since I'm still in the tail end of some pretty heavy project work. But I believe for sure in our next broadcast, we'll have at least one designer interview. So we've got some good things coming in the future. So for now, tonight's episode, we're going to focus on the Compass Games release schedule. We're going to look at the most recent releases, talk about what's coming next. And again, I'm happy to take questions right now on Facebook. It appears I have to refresh the page. It's really not loading the page for me where the chat is. So I'll keep trying and hope that it, I see it now. So I see Donald Johnson, John LeBlanc, Jonathan Nuestra, Eric's there. Great. So I see people now on now there. So I think I'm in good shape. So again, that's what we're going to be covering tonight. We're going to just sort of hit the reset button on everything that's happening at Compass. It's a great, now's a great chance to ask any questions you have, just given that we're going to have some extra time tonight. Otherwise, I'm going to give you some sneak peeks as well of what's upcoming from Compass as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm sharing now. I'm just waiting for it to come up. Okay, so hopefully you see now we've got the schedule here posted from the Compass Games website. So again, it's been since late March, since our last broadcast, and we've had several releases since we last spoke. So I think we were just coming off the Zeppelin Raider release. That's the solitaire game by Gregory Smith. I believe we covered that a little bit. And the good news around Zeppelin Raider, for those that are looking for some assistance for play by email or just to have a desktop version, we did release the Vassal module for Zeppelin Raider, and that's available from the product page. You can go to the link section and get access to the Zeppelin Raider Vassal module. Also, we had what we call really Hearts and Minds. That's a deluxe edition. That's with a mounted game map. Especially the counters, not only the map, but the oversized counters, thick, rounded laser cut counters are getting just some really great reviews. We've also provided some support to gamers. Really the rules booklet, no issues with the rules whatsoever, but we did add a solitaire element to the game, and I would definitely recommend check out the product page for Hearts and Minds, because we do have an update that will assist you with the solitaire module for Hearts and Minds that's available on the product page. And again, great game, seeing a lot of kudos around Hearts and Minds, and thanks to those that posted on Facebook recently some playthroughs of Hearts and Minds as well. Next, we have Crusade and Revolution Deluxe Edition. The most common question I've gotten on this one is, will this be going to distributors? Or will it be out of print soon? And the reason that question's come up is this was actually a cooperative print run. It was actually sourced completely by a separate group out of Spain, I believe. So we were able to piggyback and get copies, English copies for Compass to sell on a limited basis, which we're very happy to be doing. So we do have very limited stock, so we don't expect or anticipate we'll really have many copies available to go out to distributors for Crusade and Revolution for the deluxe edition. I definitely recommend, if you can, to just contact us directly to pick up a copy of the game for Crusade and Revolution. Again, you've probably seen a lot of the social media postings about it. And Board Game Geek has a very, very good posting, which I believe we've linked to already, which does a side-by-side comparison of the original Compass Games release and then this new deluxe edition release, where it's much larger in size, all the components have been upgraded. In a way, it did remind me of the Designer Signature Edition, how everything got enhanced. And kudos to the team that did that out of Spain. So again, we have copies available and definitely recommended. Most recently, we have No Peace Without Spain. That's, again, our most recent conflict simulation game that's come out. That's a new edition, which means when it's a new edition, we incorporate all errata, etc. Gives us a chance to do more than just maybe a reprinting or restocking of the game. So the main point with No Peace Without Spain is a mounted map, and also that it's got the errata has been incorporated in this new edition as well. So this has some updates and changes to it, just to let everybody know. And definitely check out the product page for more information about No Peace Without Spain. So what's interesting is most recently, we haven't had your typical, we haven't really had much around World War II, if you think about it, for the last few months as far as our release schedule. Just looking at the recent releases that we're showing here, we have The Late Unpleasantness, Civil War, we have World War III, Vietnam, Zeppelin Raider, World War I, Vietnam again, and then pre-World War I areas. No Peace Without Spain, as well, Crusade and Revolution, Spanish Civil War. But again, not your typical topics, which I think that's really a nice aspect about Compass, is we're getting into your non-Eastern Front World War II games, let's say, and we even got a Euro game, so Cargo Express. So anybody looking to do family gifts, we've got a Euro branded game, Cargo Express, which is our second Euro game. Colonialism expanded second edition, expanded third edition. Colonialism was our first Euro game. So Cargo Express is our second. So again, I think probably the big message on our most recent releases: Hearts and Minds, Crusade and Revolution, No Peace Without Spain, all getting really rave reviews as far as production quality. We've got, in some cases, they're mounted maps or oversized maps, especially in the case of Crusade and Revolution. I'd say of all the deluxe editions, the most deluxe edition is Crusade and Revolution. That is the most deluxe treatment out of the three. Nothing to take away from No Peace Without Spain or Hearts and Minds at all, but eyebrows, I think, were raised with Crusade and Revolution based on what you're telling us about what you think of that production. So wonderful, wonderful to hear that, and we hope you're enjoying those games. Let's turn our attention to the schedule, though, our upcoming releases. So I only have space for so much on the home page, or also on Console World Forum, where we show the same schedule. So I usually think I'm going to cover a little more than 3 months, 90-day outlook with the space I have. But as you can see here, everything almost says June. I'm already running out of space. That's, as you can see, I haven't been in broadcast mode recently because everybody's been so busy. Again, I don't want to imply that I've been working on all of these, obviously not, but very active, with our project schedule. I think we're really happy. We're firing off on all cylinders right now. Some projects we wanted more time for some projects as well, which I think was a good thing. So as you can see, June is just insane. So we've got BAR-LEV, the 1973 Arab-Israeli War. I'm going to go to that page now just to let you know, because we've updated the page. We've got more updated. We've updated the graphics. So the game maps that, first I added the back of the game box. So the game box is now there. So think of this as two games in one. They can play side by side. BAR-LEV is well known from the original John Hill version. And then, of course, we have the GDW version. This is the version that I'll just simply say is on steroids. It's a different, deeper game. This is more of a study type simulation game. This is not like the very first edition, which is sort of a hit and giggle, easy to play, and then you're done. This really is a more intense, if you're interested in the history of BAR-LEV, again, the 1973 Arab-Israeli War, this is the title that's definitely recommended. I also want to thank Frank Chadwick. He actually helped us. This was designed by Chris Fawcett based on the past work by GDW, but Chris went deeper with the level of detail, the order of battle, goes down a level, much finer order of battle details. The unit scale is different, more details. That's why we have 8 counter sheets to the game, basically. So we have a lot more units in the game. So it's going to be a real treat for people interested in the history. And Frank Chadwick was very helpful. He volunteered and helped with the order of battle and the maps. We made some slight changes at the end to the maps and order of battle based on research Frank Chadwick had done. So really got high expectations for this game, but I want you to realize this is really a good study game. This is a really good simulation game. I'm looking forward to getting this on Vassal as well. I think this will be a great title for Vassal for those that want to just keep it out and enjoy it. So this game's coming out next. This is coming out on June 3rd, so we're only a few days away. I updated the maps, so for both games, we've got the maps are updated and posted, as you can see here, that I'm showing them now live on this session. So we got both Golan Suez maps. We've got 8 counter sheets. So I've posted the front sides of 3 of the main counter sheets of the main constituents that fought the war: Arab, Israelis, the Syrians, etc., Egyptians. So we've got the sample counter sheets, the fronts for those major combatants of the 1973 war. So please check it out. The game's shipping out in just a few days, and definitely, the complexity is going to be on the medium plus scale. I don't want you to think, I'm always upfront and honest with you guys, so this is not a redo of the first edition. This has many more details to it as far as from a system approach, but I think you'll appreciate the level of detail in the game. So medium plus complexity, but Ken Dingley did a masterful job with the rules. Chris Fawcett, we did a lot of play example illustrations. So a lot of the key concepts of the game, and we also have a playbook. You're gonna find a lot of examples to play of the game. So we really focus a lot up front on the game support with this game. So I hope you check out BAR-LEV and you're really gonna like it. And yes, Nick Wade was asking the question. This is on the medium plus scale of complexity, just to be clear on that. And then I'll be posting the rules shortly after release. So you can take a look at the rules for yourself and you'll see all the great illustrations that are included with the game. So phenomenal job on the rules. So let's go back and let's take a quick peek at our crazy schedule. Again, through June, very busy. So we've got a restocking. We'll have Battle Hymn Volume 1 available again. So Eric Lee Smith's great title, sold out very quickly. We're going to have that available again very soon. It's going to be available in the middle of June, on June 15th to be precise. A lot of you have the game already, but I know people have wanted to see more copies available, so we're happy to provide that. Fortress Europa Design Signature Edition. Definitely want to give you an update on that. And I've already started posting on Facebook. For those on Facebook right now, you've noticed my most recent postings. I've sort of got my head above water just to take a quick peek to show you some of the rules work and components work that's been going on behind the scenes. So I gave you an example of change, how the original Avalon Hill edition, the second edition of Avalon Hill, didn't really have what you would call a sequence of play. It looked like a regular rules section. It didn't really stand out. It wasn't an outline mode or step-by-step. And when I first read it, I was like, oh my gosh, I think we can really make an improvement here in terms of the overall presentation and organization of it. So just so you know, it's a designer signature game of Fortress Europa, so we did not mess with the game. So that's the first thing I always tell you about designer signature edition. A lot of people will slap a new edition on a game and they'll just change it for whatever reason. We only make changes based on the research or if the designers come forward and says they want to make changes. So in the case of BAR-LEV, it's based closely enough on the original BAR-LEV and the GDW version that we definitely wanted to tip our hat to the GDW version, but it did expand from there. It is a new game. It is a completely new game for BAR-LEV. That's why it's called a deluxe edition. It's not a reprint by any stretch of the imagination. Fortress Europa, while it's not a straight reprint, it's an example. It's a case where we've looked to enhance all the components where we can. I've spent a lot of time on the rules. Randy Heller did a phenomenal job. He was the official answer man for Avalon Hill for over a decade on the game. So he was the developer for Fortress Europa. So all the rules edits have been made, but we didn't make any de facto rules changes whatsoever. That's something we would not do to a designer Signature Edition. We're not going to play around and mess around with a game. A lot of people have commented on Console World Forum, you know, why did this game come out completely different? This is a second edition. I thought it would be just like the last one. It's a completely different game. No reason for it to have the same title. We're not doing that with Designer Signature Edition. So Fortress Europa is like Fortress Europa, Avalon Hill, second edition through John Edwards, with a lot of refinements, a lot of cleaned up rules. We kept the rules intact. So the Avalon Hill edition, the rules case format, we really kept that even intact as much as possible. So when you open up our rule booklet, it will just look, maybe have more illustrations, look a little prettier maybe, but a lot of the wordsmithing was done, but it's basically just, we tried to refine that edition. And let me give you an example of that. So let's take a quick peek. So I want to show you as an example. I'm going to go to Fortress Europa. Let's look at the Avalon Hill edition. So this is the second edition Avalon Hill. And this is just to give you an example of what you can expect as far as what we're doing. So what we have here is the terrain effects chart. I'm just going to go through these just to give you an idea what Avalon Hill did. This is the movement allowance chart, or Allied Order of Battle. I'm just going slow. I just want you to sort of just remember these things. Allied Order of Battle, Second Order of Battle for Allies, the German OB, remember this one especially because I'll show you something on this one in a second. So aircraft mission chart, replacements, TAC availability. So how's this look to you? So this is a good example of Designer Signature Edition. These are what you would expect, you know, early 80s, 1980, from, in terms of quality of components. This is what we were getting, which was fine. Nothing wrong with this at all. But now let's take a look at, you know, what we get with the new edition. So let me just shrink this to fit. So here is an example. Let me go to the very top just to show you. So here we have 2 copies, 2-sided general player aid cards. So we've got the CRT paragraph top table. We added, this is completely new. No previous version had what's called the evasion sequence. So in the game, they talk about an invasion can occur, it occurs automatically, obviously, in game turn 1 for the D-Day. And then there's an option for there to be a second invasion turn. But there was really no explanation, or there was no guidance given in the previous editions of how you can carry out the invasion sequence. So we added an invasion sequence to the game. So that's a new element. But notice it's not changing. We're not changing the game. We're not changing the rules to the game. We're providing extra guidance to players of how you can go ahead and play out the invasion sequence, which can happen up to 2 times in the game, starting with the first game turn. So that's something we've added. The bottom part should look familiar because I just showed that to you a moment ago, but now that's our new version. Here's probably the biggest change you'll notice from the charts I showed you from the second edition Avalon Hill. Notice now we've pretty much dressed up the aircraft mission chart. So now we have a very visually pleasing, organized. Notice we have more mnemonics. So we have helpful reminders with specific rule cases that are referenced and called out as far as how to use the aircraft mission chart. So that's new, that's added to the display. And then there's an optional rule carried over from the second edition, and that's the advanced aircraft rules. So you can use the advanced aircraft as optional, and notice here, again, helpful reminders for play, how to use this chart to play out the advanced air game. So this is, I think, a good example of some of the enhancements we've made to the game. Then we have the initial setup. So if you notice the previous setups, if I just go back for a moment, yes, they look like this. So this is what the new ones look like, as I was just showing. So we tried to dress them up quite a bit. Notice we've also added text as helpful reminders to the game rules. So we cross-reference the game rules or give you summaries of game rules as far as placement of some of these units. And we've done that throughout all the, so we have all these cards and displays. Arrival schedule, there's actually 2 for the German player with additional rules notes about the military districts. We have a separate, similar to Avalon Hill Edition, there's a separate order of battle for the Battle of Bulge scenario. And then we have the Allied player set up. And then we have specific player aid cards, 1 for the German player and 1 for the Allied player. And what's also interesting is on the game map in this new edition, we have larger hexes and we have larger 5/8" counters for this Designer Signature Edition because we supersized all the components. But a lot of the charts and tables you see on these player aid cards, some of them appear also on the game map. So as a player, you've got two options. You can look at the charts on the game map, or you can use the player aid cards. We sort of give you that option. So we're a little, give you some flexibility there. So again, that's the effort going on with Fortress Europa. So I'm most excited about this because we have ConsimWorld Expo coming up starting June 21st in a few weeks, and this game will be released just in time before ConsimWorld Expo. So I'm actually really, really excited that this game's going to be available, Fortress Europa. And what I did for you all is on the product page, I did do an update for you all. So I included, which is taken from the rule booklet, which is getting finalized now. I mentioned here, I spotlight some of the key enhancements we made to the game, Fortress Europa. So consider it, the standard game is still the same game, same Avalon Hill edition, just the rules were better, more clear, errata is gone, and the overall graphical presentation, as you saw, that sort of speaks for itself. So it's all in here. Also, what Randy Heller did was he did fine-tuning of play balance for all the scenarios, and he's updated all the scenarios. There's a lot of optional rules. I think the last count, I want to say there's 18 different optional rules in this game. So the standard game is tried and true to the Avalon Hill 2nd edition. Then some of the optional rules are a carryover from Avalon Hill. Some minor revisions were needed, and there's some new, we've added some new optional rules as well. So that's why I have in italics, expanded optional rules in this new edition. So really excited about this game. I've expanded the components section as well as far as all the player aids that are included in the game. So this is a whole new section I basically blew out. And before I had, like, it's 5 player aid cards here and 5 there. Here I've actually called out and spelled out exactly what you're going to be getting in the box. So there's a lot in the box you're getting. As a final FYI, I noticed earlier this week that the nice train effects chart, which is on the game map, is only on the game map. And I wasn't too happy with that. I thought about that, and I thought, the train effects chart, because it has stuff about movement and combat on there. It even talks about the stacking value for each type of train. It's really helpful information. So I didn't want people to be stuck having to eyeball and look on over on the map. So just in the last 48 hours, Bruce Urian, the artist, he's created a new player aid card, which has the train effects chart, although bigger in size, so it's easier to read. And then also we added to the bottom of it, because we just had enough space, to the unit type information to explain all the different unit types, the unit, how to read the units. So now we just added, it's not on here yet, it's not even on here yet on the web page, but we've added a separate player aid card that has the TEC and unit information about it. So hope that's something you're gonna enjoy as it comes out on June 17th, just a few days before ConsimWorld Expo. And then to round out the schedule, we've got Pits War. So Pits War, I've added some graphics on that to our website. This is our next Paper Wars edition. You'll find the game map was there previously, which we have here. But what I've also done recently, which I want you to take note of, is we've got the front side of the counter sheet has been added for Pits War. So that's something worth checking out as well. So that's yet another release in June that we have. Again, I'm still stuck in June. I can't get out of June, and we're doing a full broadcast. Of course, we're excited about the next company scale system release. I don't have a specific date for you yet, is Little Land. That's going to be coming out, company scale system, first Eastern Front game. That's going to come out end of June. And for combat, we just updated earlier this week the graphics for combat. That's coming out by end of June as well. So we added counter sheets to it, so you can get an idea of the very large, oversized counters that are provided with the game. A bunch of counter sheets. I'm just showing you some examples here, just so you get an idea about the game. I'm giving you one example of one of the game maps as well, which you can see here. So zoom in on. So again, just some good information on that as well. So definitely check out Combat. A lot of excitement about the game. A lot of people were asking about, I want to learn more about the game, but there's really not much on the website yet. So we've got more information for you on Combat. And that's going to be coming out end of this month as well. So again, that's Combat. Still in the month of June. I think I can finally escape June with combat, and we can move on to Blue Water Navy is going to be in July, as well as Paper Wars Wagram. So I'll be doing future updates on that. I won't have much time because there's Console World Expo coming up in a few weeks, but for our next broadcast, we'll definitely have some updates on that. So I'm excited to bring that to you. So we've covered a whole lot. So this is probably, I'm going to say this will rank as one of the, for at least in my recollection, for the almost going on 2 years with Compass now, I think this will be one of our busiest months at Compass Games as far as game releases. So I hope out of this list of games that are just covering about 6 or 7 weeks of time, I guess, in here, I hope you see something in here that you like, that you're going to be enjoying, that's going to be coming out. And we have a lot of different subjects coming out. So before I close, I do want to give you another quick sneak peek of some other projects that are taking place. So let's turn our attention to some other projects. And we'll start with a big project. So I haven't talked in some time about the Third World War series. So I think that would be something we should do. So let me pull up the PDF. I believe it's PDF. So I want to show you a little bit more about what's happening with the Third World War series. I've got a bunch of maps for that one. So let me start with what I posted earlier. Some of this has been posted already. So on Third World War series, just to let you know, we did incur some delays on that. You know, we had to make some changes as far as resources available that could get the work done. This is a very big project. So this is 6 full-size game maps, tons of counter sheets. So what we're doing is we're taking all 4 titles of the original GDW Third World War series, and we're putting them all in one box. So we've got 6 full-size maps, multiple counter sheets, all the rules for all the games, and of course this is a designer signature edition, so a lot of enhancements. You'll see a lot of enhancements in terms of how we what we can do with the counters to make sure, you know, any improvements we can make to enhance the counters. We're going to try to make them look true to the original. People have commented about that, but if there's mnemonics or something, extra marking that a counter could really benefit from to help the players with the game, we're going to do that. We're going to see the biggest difference by far is there's going to be a lot of new player aid and displays for the game. So of the project team we have assembled, we have some very detailed notes and recommendations on new player aid cards, revised player aid cards. I mentioned many months ago, we've got 100 or 200 new game markers for the game, just to help you track various housekeeping chores with the game that didn't exist in any of the 4 original individual titles of GDW's edition. So we've got 100, 200 new game markers that didn't exist before, a lot of new player aid cards, a lot of new displays, all that is coming. What I've got for you for now is we're very excited to have Bruce Urian available, and he's getting through all the artwork, as you can see, for the maps that I'm going to show now. These are early drafts. Fortunately for us, Bruce is now officially retired from what was his day job, and now he's officially buried in Third World War series. So that's why the maps are getting done. So here we have the 2 full-size maps for Persian Gulf. Here we have an example of Northern Central Europe. You can see the North Sea on here. We have that map available. More recent maps that are done is here the southern area. And again, these are early drafts. These are 2 maps here, or actually this might be 1 full-size map here showing the southern fronts of Third World War series. So I'm happy to show this for the very first time. And then we're very happy that our previous artists that we worked with actually helped us fill a gap. So doing 6 new maps, we wanted to have the maps made up properly. And when we made the maps and did the new map approach, we had a big gap in the central area of Europe around Poland and Russia. Huge gap. There was no map from GDW whatsoever, but it was just a big hole we had. So we've got that now covered. So this is the expansion map. I got to make this fit to the page. I don't think it's fitting. So here's the full-on area. So this is going to be covering a gap that wasn't in existence before with the GDW version. What will happen here is we'll do something with the reinforcement rules as far as where they come in. We'll figure that out. what's really going to happen is we've got expansions and other plans for this series. And, you know, this will give us the opportunity to do additional scenarios that take advantage of this territory. So for now, we're setting up the basis and the foundation that we have some additional geographic area that we can take advantage of and leverage. Another benefit of having Bruce Urian work on this project is we will now have a single artist that will be doing future titles. So for example, Manchurian Front is based on the Third World War game series, never published, and we'll be doing the Manchurian Front. There's also other fronts and other games that have been done using the Third World War game series. So the great benefit that we're excited about is when this game is done, we're moving on to brand new titles based on the Third World War game system and what we're learning now of how to enhance this game with additional markers, player, you know, new player aids, new displays. All that's going to now play a role in brand new titles moving forward. So we're really excited about that. And just to let you know, we're not messing around. We're not messing with the original GDW version. It was very loud and clear to us that people are always trying to replace or find copies of the GDW version, and they're running out of luck. It's hard to get all 4 games together, and we're putting them all in one box. So we're staying very true to the original rules, to the order of battle, things of that nature. If you're looking for those original 4 games, you're going to get those 4 games from us, yet you're going to get, you know, better graphics, much, you know, more markers for ease of use, playing the game, better utility, you know, better thought out player aids and displays, you know, rules getting all the errata being worked into the rules. All that designer signature edition stuff is now going to be hitting, but this won't be like a different game. You know, you're not going to get upset with us saying, why did you mess with this game? Or why did you try to tweak this order of battle from the original and now the play balance is all screwed up now? So we're not doing that at all. We're sticking to the tried and true original GDW release by Frank Chadwick and crew, which people want us to do. So that is what we are doing. Okay, so I hope that's helpful for you all. I want to give you another sneak peek as well. I want to show you something called Eastern Front Tank Leader. So that is a game that started by John Hill. John Hill for West End Games did Eastern Front Tank Leader. And then we had 2 different designers, Leonard Quam and Bruce. Sorry, Bruce, I'm drawing a blank. But the good news is we've got both designers of Western Front and Desert Steel are on the project team for our Tank Leader series. Designer Signature Edition. This is to honor and to memorialize John Hill. All the great work he did on Eastern Front. We're very excited to bring that out. So I have some examples here for you. So what I have here we have the game map. So what we're doing is we're making a change to the game maps, and that is that we're going to be doing, instead of 2 maps, we're doing 4 half map sections. So the original map is being replaced with 2 half maps, and we're making them geomorphic. So all 4 half-size maps that are coming out are going to be able to basically come together. And let me see if I have the other one. I have map A. Let me show you the other map here. So as an example of what I mean by that, so I've got these 2 maps right here. And let me see, I'll do it this way. So I'll just take one map, this one, and I'll take this new half map. And as you can see, it's going to be geomorphic. So this is going to be how the 2 half maps come together for a full-size map. Kudos to Shane Logan. I love his work. He's done a lot of work in the past on tactical level World War II games. So this is right in his wheelhouse. He knows how to do this work. So we're going to do 4 half maps that are geomorphic. We're going to honor the scenarios the best we can from East Front Tank Leader. We're going to do the other titles as well, but then we're going to be getting into historical battles, some historical battles specifically, and then we'll be doing more geomorphic stuff as well. So we'll be adding modules or battles, actual historical battles to the series. One thing I also want to show you that we have for Tank Leader is some of the artwork of the counters. So here's an example of the counter art for Tank Leader. So you have formation stripes, which formation they belong to, have the nice tank icons, all the tank icons All the vehicles, AFVs, are going to be proportional in size, as you can probably see here. So here's an example of some of the Russian units. So again, we're really excited about how this is all coming together. These are 5/8" size counters as well. So we've got four half maps. They're going to be geomorphic, which will be really, really nice. Where the project team's really working hard on this. So just to give you an idea of what goes on behind the scenes, just to show you, we're doing an analysis right now. So every project I'm working on, we've got great project team members who love the designs we're working on. They've invested years in the games. They're veterans of the game. I've got the 2 designers of Desert Still and Western Front Tank Leader involved. So here we're going through the options of how we can do the geomorphic maps, because this will be a new element we're adding to the game, and we're trying to come up with the smartest way to make this happen. So right now we're discussing 3 options of what we can do to align these maps best way possible. So a lot of work is going on behind the scenes, a lot of thought. You know, we're always, our default stance is if we can make easy, you know, there's errata to fix. If there's easy decisions to make, we do those. We look at all the online comments and postings. We do all our research. Now we're getting into an area that's a little more complex because we're pushing the geomorphic idea of the maps. So we have to make some new decisions, and we want to make smart decisions. So we have a lot of great team members involved that are helping us through this process. So again, just wanted to share with you, I hope you're excited about what you're seeing from Third War. We want to get Third World War series out, you know, quickly. We have a lot of work to do on it, so the maps are getting done. Then we've got all the counter sheets to do for Third World War series, and we're going to get through the game rules and all the many new charts and displays we're doing for Third World War series. And then for Tank Leader series, we want to make a really great initial launch of the Tank Leader East Front game. So a lot of attention is being put into this game. We want to really strike really strongly because we've got a lot of games. There's some new games in the Tank Leader series that have never been published. One's already done. So we really want to make a good, strong introduction, reintroduction, and really make this series live again. There's also game cards that are being designed that I can show you for this game. So here's an example of some of the formation cards that are going to be done for the game. Again, these are proofs of artwork. These are not final. Our project team looks these over with the artist, and we try to provide guidance. And then you can see the different colors here in the cards that matches the colors, the color bar or stripe of the counters that match that formation. So again, we're going through various concepts. We got game cards, counters, maps, geomorphic maps. All this is being worked on for Tank Leader. So lots and lots of things going on. So I hope that little sneak peek is helpful. What I want to do is I'm going to take any questions you have, but I want to end with one quick announcement. We'll be starting up some pre-orders in the future as the summer convention series starts to happen. But I do want to announce one game project development that's happened. So I'm going to go to Board Game Geek, and we have a title called Attrition of Souls. So this is going to be a World War I title. What's interesting about this, what I find interesting about this, it's by one Scott Librant. And Scott is actually the designer of colonialism. If you recall, colonialism is a pretty darn serious, it's almost a crossover Euro historical game. It's a very, it covers a very historical dark subject matter, colonialism of Africa. And Scott is now, he's wading his toes deeper into this dark historical stuff, getting into World War I and, you know, how horrible World War I was. And the title says it all, The Attrition of Souls. What a great title, I think. So this is a new game that is now signed with Compass. Please check it out on Board Game Geek. The page just went up. We got the game map and some sample counters. You can see it's going to be a fast-paced area game. Talks about, you know, the brutal conflict. Scott's the perfect guy to cover this based on his past design work that he's done. This is a great segue for Scott coming into this whole historical wargaming groove here. So I think this is going to be a really exciting title. It's going to have some great graphics to it. It's going to be a unique system, and it's going to really get into, yeah, the brutality of what is World War I. So it's going to be a unique game system, very fast playing as well. So very excited to announce that Attrition of Souls is going to be a new title we'll be hearing more about, and I will have Scott Librant on as a designer. We'll do a designer interview with Scott. We'll talk a little bit about colonialism, which is available today, and then we'll go deeper through an Attrition of Souls, which we hope will be coming out hopefully quite soon. It's not available for pre-order yet. I'll be announcing the pre-order fairly soon, and I'll be making that announcement. Also, just a reminder, Compass Games Expo, sign up for that, November 8th through the 11th. Right now, I'm in full-on Fortress Europa mode, just finishing up the rule booklet for that, and the project's done. And then turning my attention to the various projects that are being worked on. And then, of course, Consom World Expo. Compass Games will be out at Consom World Expo. Of course, I'll be there as well, June 21st through 29th. We've got about 275 people signed up for Consom World Expo, but I do want to focus on Compass Games Expo. We have a lot of new games coming out this year. We have our new catalog that will be out by this time in November. So definitely recommend, if you can make it out to Cromwell, Connecticut. We also run some great specials. For those that were there the first year, they know about the great specials we run on Compass game products, which is worth the price of admission alone. So please check it out. We've got a lot of special events planned at Compass Game Expo. It's a great hotel, very nice. We about doubled the gaming space for this year. So you can see the game signups is already happening here. So really excited about that. So with that, let me see if I've got any questions on Facebook to cover here. I see some comments, I'm out of focus. Well, Facebook is Facebook. The quality on Facebook is not very good. It's just a platform. So really I recommend, as I've recommended already, you really want to join the Zoom platform. People will tell you that are on this platform much better HD quality, or wait for the recording, which will become available very soon of this broadcast. The recording will be HD, will be very nice. So further information, let me just go through any questions here. The Victory Games Korea reprint, that is coming along. The game maps are basically done. The counter sheets will be done in about a week. This is Joe Mikulski's Korean War. I'm not covering that right now simply because I'm in the throes of finishing Fortress Europa. So I can't really go deep on Korean War right now. Plus, I promised Joe Bukowski we'll do a designer interview with Joe Bukowski when we have more of the more of the map and the counters, etc., to show you. And Joe will walk you through the game enhancement he's making to the game. So that is progressing quite well, actually. And FYI, another thing that's progressing well, which I didn't show you, I almost forgot, is I've got something right here. And I don't know do you recognize what this is? Does anybody know what I'm showing here? Just curious if you know what this is. You can raise your hand. This is a map for something. So I'm gonna wait. I don't think I can do this on Facebook because there's a delay of 20 seconds. So for those that are on here, we've got a few participants on live. If you want to take a shot at what map I'm showing you right now, just hit the Q&A button or hit chat, and I'll be happy to tell you what it's all about. So let me see. Don't have any guesses, it looks like, yet. Let me check. Nope, no guesses yet. Okay, so what we have here is one of my all-time favorite games. So Decision at Kasserine by Vance von Boris, the designer signature edition game. So you can see we're making good progress on the game map. I can zoom in here quite a bit. You can see the quality is quite nice. So really excited about this game. So again, Kasserine is coming along nicely. Two maps, two full-size maps, 5 8-inch counters, Decision at Kasserine. Vance has been making some rule enhancements. He wanted to make some changes, so working on those now. But it's coming together very nice. Very excited about Decision at Kasserine. This is one of our designer signature edition games, so very excited about that. So yes, there's a lot of work happening behind the scenes, very busy for sure. So we'll be getting more information about that game soon. So that's a little bit about Korean War, and I snuck in something about Decision at Kasserine. The World War I Western Front solitaire air game by Gregory Smith. That one has not gone out to the artist yet. So once that happens, I will let you know. I do have a lead on a artist that I'm looking to firm up and confirm, which I'm quite excited about. It's a big project. There's a lot of displays, a lot of displays for this game. It's covering a bunch of different countries. So it's going to be a few months of artwork for that game. But yeah, we want to give it to the right artist for sure. So we want to find the right fit for that project. So I'll have an update on that for the next broadcast for sure. So I really appreciate your questions there. Actually, I think that's it. I don't see any other questions for those online. So I want to thank you. Let me just stop for a moment. I want to thank you all again. It's been since late March. It's been almost 2 months since we last talked, but for good reason. We're coming into one of our busier months at Compass in terms of game releases. I hope you see something you like out of the various games you see coming in June and July. I hope there's at least one topic in there you're really excited about. We've done some great work behind these titles. Really excited about each and every one of them. And then a lot of the project work behind the scenes. You've seen Third World War series, Tank Leader. I just showed you the map for Decision at KASSERINE. Yeah, we've got some great stuff going on behind the scenes as far as managing our project pipeline. So a lot of great stuff coming. We hope you like what you've seen. We're always looking for feedback. So if you've got some feedback for us, please let us know. For those going to Consum World Expo, I plan to do one more broadcast before Consum World Expo. So I'll talk maybe a little bit more about Consum World Expo in our next broadcast. In the meantime, hope everybody's having a great week. I missed talking to you all, and I'm really excited about what we have coming down the pike. So thanks again, everybody, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take care, and bye-bye.